Okay, I think this is better now. So I just wanted to have this topic of creative real estate investing ideas, where most people have like traditional real estate investing ideas, where you actually buy a home or a condo, but you don't have idea on investing into real estate, like being creative with the deals and all that. So I want to go and do a quick run through about my introduction, why I qualified to do this presentation. I started real estate about 7 years ago. I spent about 25, $30,000 with different investors, paying them and learning real estate, but they didn't really teach me anything. But there was like one investor who hired me to be his assistant, and he made me go through about 100 different things that most of the real estate agents learn over the period of 10 years. So in my first year, he made me negotiate deals. He made me negotiate on contracts. I would buy and invest into the warehouses. I will find a tenant for him. I will do 100 different things. And he was very aggressive on me. So I learned a whole bunch of things. So I started my own real estate investing business. However, the real estate agents that I hired to actually help me were not knowledgeable about the disclosures, negotiating price and terms. They did not had proactive. They were not proactive in making quick offers, unable to have bids, and most of the things that I was working on, it didn't work out. So I started, becoming my own real estate agent and helping other people out. So the one thing about the one of the real estate investing strategies, converting motel into studio apartments, right? So motel is a good business, but like, I mean, most of the people who have motels or own motels, they know like how much headache they have to put in maintaining a motel. So, or, you have to have a staff that is reliable, that doesn't give up on you. You have to have a staff that is like honest, they don't steal customer stuff and all that. And then they also actually charge a lot of money. So if something happens to them or some motel guy is aggressive, they hurt your employee, then you would have to pay for the insurance and all bunch of drama that happens in motels where truck drivers come, stop by, and stay there. So if you actually get a motel in an area where there are some factories and that a lot of people come and stay there for a longer time, and you can convert these into studio apartments. So what you can do is, all you have to do is basically add a kitchen, right? So the one on the right hand side, you can see they have done some very good upgrade, but you don't have to spend a lot of money to do that significant upgrade. You just have to add a kitchen and do some plumbing, and you have basically whatever everything else that you have in a motel, right? um, so once you do that, the thing is that you actually can get rid of all the extra headache you have to do on a regular basis of maintaining everything, making sure employees are there, having laundry to wash the bed sheets and everything on a regular basis, and maintaining the standards and doing all that crap, and then having employee to actually check in and check out all the time throughout the 24-hour service, and paying all this extra headache and costs. That will save you from going into all that. So you can rent individual motel apartments that you can buy for cheap, and then you can rent it for like 800 bucks, 1,000 bucks a room per month. And then you just have this apartment building with the studio apartments that people will like to rent into it. And then they would like to have, instead of sharing a room with somebody, they just have to, students, they just like to have their own individual thing where they can just study and just be focused. Second thing is converting hangar into a warehouse, right? Some people are crazy about buying private planes, and they get a PPL, which is private pilot license, and they buy a plane, but then they buy a super expensive plane that they don't want to put it, they don't want to keep it outside. So what they do is they built a hangar for it. Hangar is basically a garage, right? And they have their planes, whatever, but what happens is that they get tired of maintenance of private planes, which cost like tens and thousands of dollars. They don't have all that money right now. They want to retire. They sell their planes, and now they have these hangars that they can't do anything with it, right? And then there are some people who just buy these hangars and rent it out to other people. And then when people don't rent with them, they just stay vacant, and they just lose value. They have nothing to do with it. So what you can do is you can buy these hangars from them, which is basically the plane garages. And then you can convert them into small warehouses. So there are a lot of young entrepreneurs, millennials, who have completely different business model, like the traditional brick and mortar companies. So let's say Mattress Firm is traditional, brick and mortar company will have like physical stores, most of the time when people are not there, they're just sitting vacant and employees are doing nothing but just just watching videos, right? They're just spending a lot of money on employees, they're spending a lot of money on overhead and a whole bunch of things. The new millennials, real estate investors, the e-commerce investors, they just have this Instagram ad, Facebook ad, and they have everything in the warehouse and they ship everything from the warehouse. And they have like small little products, they have big little products. Some people just start with like selling maybe whatever, just fidget spinners or something, or keychains or wallets. And they need to have a warehouse where they can keep everything, and instead of having everything in their apartment garage, and they would just want to ship it from there. And you can rent these warehouses for them on a 3-year, 5-year lease. The good thing about commercial lease and warehouses is you can just rent for long term, and you have the triple net lease. They take care of the taxes, they take care of the electricity, they take care of the exterior maintenance, interior maintenance, and everything. So you don't have to worry about that. Once you rent a warehouse for 3 to 5 years, you're good. So something like that, you can do it as well. Another thing is buy a vacant warehouse, rent it and sell it. Okay. So let's say there is an abandoned warehouse that's sitting vacant, and the owner who owns it maybe lives in some other state, or maybe he went to Hawaii or he went to India or something, and he has left it vacant and he's just paying taxes and doing nothing about it. So what you can do is you can reach out to them, get some, you can do some research, talk to them, reach out to the owners or somebody who knows the owner, and make an offer on that warehouse. That warehouse might have some work. Maybe a portion of the warehouse got some fire that got burnt. You buy it really cheap. You fix it, make some repairs, hire a real estate agent, a commercial real estate agent who knows a lot about warehouses. Hire a real estate agent and find a tenant. Once you find a tenant that's paying about $10,000 a month, have it 5 years lease locked up, the warehouse value will increase by millions of dollars. Let's say you bought a warehouse for $500,000, you fix it, you have a tenant in there. Now you're getting about $15,000 a month. The warehouse value will go up like $1.5 million over what it was worth before, right? Then you can sell that warehouse to the new owner, saying that, hey, you know what? Now I got the tenant, I have everything ready. All you have to do is just buy the warehouse and just have the money come in every month, right? Because you have done all the work for them. They have to do nothing. And because you take the risk, you do the work, you get to enjoy the profit that you sell, and the owner get to enjoy the profits of what he invested in, because he paid a little bit more for the services and everything you have done for them. Another thing that you can do, a lot of people buy this vacant land, right? They buy land and they have this problem of pulling permits, right? Sometimes the city gives you like hard time. They take years and years and years to give you permits, or they charge like 50, 60, 70, $80,000. And then the land is sitting vacant and you can't do anything about it. So instead of having it sit vacant and you just pay taxes every year, not make any money from it, what you can do is you can rent these land to truck owners who have trucks, boats that maybe just use in once in a year, and they don't have a driveway or where they want to put these things, and they'll just come and put these in your land, and then you just collect rent every month. You just have to develop a system through which you can actually collect rent and rent trailers where people have big trucks and old ugly cars, RVs, and people just don't want to get rid of them because they use like once in a year, 6 months in a year to go camping, and they just don't want to put that in their garage, or because it's occupying a lot of space. They have kids who want to play basketball in the driveway by putting a basketball net, but they don't want to keep this. So that, so you can actually have that vacant land to put these things and then rent it out to people. Another thing is what you can do is, if you have a home on a big lot, most people think about subdividing it. Subdividing is actually you get a surveyor from the city. The surveyor puts a line where the home is, and then he will subdivide the land into 2 different parts. And one of the part you can actually sell it. It will have a complete different parcel. It will have a complete different address. But in some cases like this home, you can't really have a separate entrance to come in and move into that separate home or sell that as a separate property. So instead, what you can do is you can pull a permit just to add another home without even having a new address. Just like, kind of like how you have a you have a home, but you have a garage, right? But the garage doesn't have a different address. Just like that, you have a home and you can have like an extra home built within that lot. And you can rent that to your family member or somebody, or let's say there are two brothers living together, right? One brother can just rent one of that, or just share the rent, whatever, or just share the property. Um, something like that. Or let's say, you have your parents, but like, I mean, you want to have a separate home, but at the same time, you care about your parents. You don't want your parents to live too far away, or you can rent that separate home to your parents, right? So you can do those things, but you will not be able to legally justify in the system that there are two separate homes in the property. That you will only have like one address. You only have one mailing address, but then you will also have the extra home. Somebody might be willing to pay a little bit more. Let's say there's a home just like this for $600,000, but you added an extra home on it. So you can list your home for like 700,000, saying that, hey, you know what, I have this extra bills when you sell it. So it might sell a little bit more faster than if you don't have it, right? So yeah, I just decided to keep the presentation nice and short. I know some people joined a little late, but I will be recording this presentation and putting it back into the group. If you have any questions, you can feel free to tell me. Let me know your thoughts. And also, I do have a WhatsApp number that I'm very accessible. You have any general questions, you can reach out to me anytime. So it looks like no questions right now. If you're shy, you can also always text me general questions. If you have anything like that, I'm here to help you. Thank you.